In this video, I'll be showing you how to change textures in GTA 5, from library textures to embedded textures and even vehicle textures. This is a detailed video, so pay attention for everything to work. Requirements. Menu allows you to spawn and see objects' names. OpenIV allows you to read 3D files and texture files. CodeWalker allows you to get the name of embedded textures that can't be found by menu. Texture Toolkit allows you to change the embedded textures. Which of these you need to download depends on your needs, so follow the video to know more. Let's start with library textures. To know if an object depends on a library to get its texture rather to have it embedded, use Menu to select the object. You will need this name right here. Start OpenIV and select Windows. Make sure to activate edit mode, as without it no changes can be done. Go to the search bar in the top right of the window and write the object's name in there. Don't worry that there are no results. Simply click in all archives. It's looking through the entirety of the GTA 5 files, but will take seconds to find. Pick the first result, and it will redirect you to its location. Open it to make sure it's the correct object. And as you can see, the object has no texture. This means the object needs to be connected to his texture library to display his true texture. Looking down right, we can see Add Texture. Now match the object's name to its texture library. Now the in-game texture is also visible in OpenIV, but you're here to change it. So click on the library the object has gotten its texture from. Here it is. Click again on the file, and here is the image texture of the object. Now it's time to modify the texture with your choice of Photoshop software. Download the image, but make sure to choose an extension supported by your software. Keep the original resolution of the texture to not cause any problems, and now let your creativity shine. Here is my end result. Download the image. Go back to OpenIV and bring the image texture back up. And in the toolbar, a replace button should be there. If the buttons are not there, then you probably have edit mode off. Click the replace button and pick the new texture. Make sure to save changes. The textures haven't updated yet, so exit from the model and re-enter it or reload the texture library by removing it and adding it back. I chose the first method. Now that I reloaded it, I will bring the texture library which I modified with a new texture. But the problem is, it hasn't changed. Well, this is because the game is still running in the background, so make sure you're out of the game while changing textures. Your changes have been reverted, so do the same thing I said earlier by replacing the textures with yours, and save. Now loading the object back up. Load the library. And here you go! I can't believe my eyes! Wow! A new texture! Start GTA 5 and you can spawn your object to check it out using Menu. Let me mention that libraries vary. Some textures will be harder to change than others. So if you're having any problems, just contact me on my Discord down in the description. Now for embedded textures, just like before. To know if an object has an embedded texture, use Menu to see the object's name. Then enter OpenIV and click Windows. And make sure edit mode is enabled. Now look up the object's name in the search bar, click in all archives, and the object should pop up. Pick the first option, and it will redirect you to the object's file location. then click it again to access it. As you can see, the object does not need to be connected to any library, but it has a few embedded textures in it. Go back and click More Information. Then click Textures. Here it should allow you to export the texture, aka download the texture. Again, download it on whatever extension you want. For me, PNG. Here is the image. Now this is an important piece of information. Whatever modifications you do on the image, it has to be exported on the .dds format. So I'll edit my picture and export it as .png, and then use GIMP to re-export it as .dds, as the Texture Toolkit software we'll be using won't be able to read .png files and will crash every time you try it. And make sure the Mipmaps option is on Generate Mipmaps. Now the exported image has to be on the .dds format. Now bring back the object you want to change the texture on, and extract it. So basically, you will kind of download a copy of it. Here it is. Just leave it now. Then open the Texture Toolkit software and click on File, then Load. And go to find the file you just extracted. These are all the textures that are embedded in the object. Click on Edit, then Import, and find the .dds image that you want to change the original texture with. Don't forget to save by clicking File, then Save. Now bring the object you want to modify in OpenIV and the extracted file which you just changed the texture of, and you're going to switch them by dragging the extracted file into the same path as the original object. But make sure to leave GTA 5 before doing so, or an error will pop up. This deletes the old object with the old texture, and give you a new object with your texture. Refresh the old object so that it takes the new texture. Oh my god, wow, amazing, wonderful, look at this new texture that I just made. Again, contact me if you need any help. The link of my Discord is in the description.
Vehicle textures. Use menu to read the vehicle's name. Enter OpenIV and pick Windows. Enable edit mode. Search for your vehicle's name. Click on In All Archives. You'll find two options, one with your vehicle's name and another with a plus high next to it. You'll be changing both their textures. Pick either one of them. Don't worry which one, as they're both connected to same texture libraries. The vehicle's texture is in these two bottom libraries. Click any of them. For now, you just want to download the image that you'll modify. You won't be changing any textures. Click on the texture. By the way, all these three work fine. They are for different liveries of ambulances. But I'll export this one. Now take that texture and modify it in whatever software you want, and you can export it as a PNG. Now change all targeted textures in both the main vehicle file and the plus high one. For safety, I also changed other liveries, but that's optional. Then save. Again, make sure you're not in GTA 5 or changes won't be saved. I'm dumb, so it happened to me throughout the entirety of the video, but just change textures again if that happened to you. But here is the end result. I would literally jump off a building just so that this beautiful purple ambulance can pick me up.
Lastly, building textures. Buildings mostly have a mix of library textures and embedded textures. And using menu doesn't let you read the building's name. So we will be using CodeWalker to get its name. After downloading and extracting it, run the .exe file. Go to the building you want to change the texture of. Click on the arrows at the top right side of the window, and make sure you're on the Selection tab. Activate Mouse Select. Now you can select any object in the map, pick whatever you want. For me, this building. You have to right-click to select the object. Now to read its name, it's literally right here. Even an old partially blind man suffering from dementia can see it. Enter OpenIV. Enable Edit Mode and search the building's name that you just got in CodeWalker. Enter the drawable model. The other one is a texture library. And here is the exact building. As you can see, it has a mix of both embedded textures, which is the windows, and a texture library, which is the pink part of the building. And by calling its library, you can bring its texture. And you can view the Windows texture by clicking the View Embedded Textures button. Luckily, to change the embedded texture now, we have its library texture here. I don't think all models with embedded textures have libraries, so use Texture Toolkit on those. Now just export the image, go modify it, and come back to click the Replace button and change the texture. Don't forget to leave GTA 5 before saving the modifications. Now save. The modification doesn't show up here, but using CodeWalker, refresh your textures by changing view mode to any other mode and changing it back to default view. And again, by clicking its library, you can find the texture that just filled the purple space. And here it is, this white concrete texture. So again, export it, go modify it, then come back and click the Replace button and change the old texture with the new one. Then save. Now reloading the texture library, your new texture should appear. Even in CodeWalker. I hope this video helped you at least in some way. If having any problems, I'm always available to be contacted. One final thing. Don't enter GTA Online with modified textures. There is a ban risk, so verify game files before doing so.